yes, it's getting down to crunch time. Time for Party Scoopers. Craig Robinson, Jeff Link joining us in studio right now as we start getting all the teams lined up, getting ready to charge the field here in just a couple of weeks, gentlemen. So you all ready for the next step?
I am. I mean, it's exciting. You can already feel the excitement kind of as we near this, and the buses are rolling into Iowa, and has a different feel in the final weeks.
All right, now we have an event coming up tomorrow, but you had one just last night as well, correct?
Yeah, so last night was the Black and Brown Forum, which is sort of a tradition for the Iowa caucuses. Representative Wayne Ford has put this on for years.
Because it started here for those people that may not know that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Wayne's been doing this forever, and he had invited Republicans to do a forum, and that sort of fell apart, but the Democrats participated last night, and it was O'Malley and Sanders and Clinton. It was hosted on the Fusion Network, and was Jorge Ramos, who was famous for getting kicked out of a Donald Trump event, was the host of the event last night. So it was a good discussion of issues affecting African-American and Latino voters, and so I think it was a good event. I actually went to an event after the Brown and Black Forum at the Blank Golf Course. Hillary Clinton had a little event there, which when she came out, she said, it's really great to be here on the south side of Des Moines. I feel like this is a Chido family reunion because Ned Chido runs the golf courses, and so he had a bunch of his sons around. So it was a really good event, a lot of energy and enthusiasm in the room. And you know, the one thing that struck me about this event, you know, Clinton went through her usual discussion about the economy, and she talked a little bit about differences between her views and Sanders. And then somebody asked her to sort of describe really what it is to be Secretary of State and what she did. And she briefly talked about what the responsibilities are of that job, to be the chief diplomat and to go around and negotiate with other countries. And then she just told two stories about how what that actually means. And she said, look, I was with President Obama at an event in Vietnam, and I got a call about this fighting going on between Israel, and there was bombing coming out of the Gaza Strip. And so she said, I left Vietnam, flew to Jerusalem, drove to Tel Aviv, met with the Security Council of the Israeli government, was trying to negotiate this ceasefire, ended up having to fly that night to Cairo, Egypt, to meet with the head of the Muslim Brotherhood, president of the country of Egypt, in order to reach out to Hamas in Gaza. Now, kind of got into the weeds a little bit, but just that one little vignette of her experience as Secretary of State is a story that no one on either side of the aisle can tell. I mean, it's really amazing the kind of experience that she had as Secretary of State, and the leg up that would give her in that job. And you know, this is at the Blank Golf Course on the south side. She's telling
Which is, when you mention that, you know, that's a surprisingly small venue, but no bigger than, you know, like a pizza ranch or someplace like that.
Yeah, there were probably, I
think
think there were about 150 people in this room. And then she took questions and then just stayed around and shook hands.
But this is why the style of campaigning that we have in Iowa is important. It's because in these small settings where you can have a more personal conversation, you get asked a great question and you get a fantastic answer. And so think about the people who were there. Okay,
and their takeaway,
they take that away, and so that's what these candidates that put on these big, overly produced events, you know, where it's very scripted, it's regimented. We come in the back door, we're going to do this for 5 minutes, shake hands, leave, get on the bus, go, do it all in the next town. And when you look at the coverage of it, I don't know if you're in Boone or if you're in, you know, Adel or wherever, because it all looks the same because it's all branded for the candidate. It's these like little unique events that I think can do so much in terms of building that connection, because at the end of the day in a caucus, I think it really is about relationships with these candidates more so than just a touch, so to say, on a paid media or some mail program or something like that.
That's, again, the signature reason why they do events like that.
Yeah, it's the beauty of the caucuses, right? It's like the best part of the caucuses, and the situation we're in on the Democratic side with the recent polls are that this race is close. It's going to be very close between Clinton and Sanders. Sanders could very well win, and those kinds of events and motivating people in groups that size is going to be the key to which one of these campaigns is successful.
Now tonight, our president is going to be giving his last State of the Union address, and a female will once again be doing the response. Do we know how the Republicans are going to respond to what they're saying could be the shortest speech ever for a State of the Union
I bet they're going to
address?
embrace his ideas and say he wants to work together.
Okay.
Yeah, look, it's very predictable. Especially in a year where you have, we're going to have one formal response, and then we've got a dozen candidates who are going to respond. My email box will be full. They're not going to like anything the president says. This is predictable from both parties.
Now, is Trump going to be on Twitter while the speech is on?
That would be kind of entertaining. Now, we don't know if he'll be talking about the president's nationality and birth certificate or Ted Cruz's, but
yeah, which direction is he from?
Yeah, that whole conversation about Cruz's nationality has been fascinating because
Our governor even stepped in now.
Terry Branstad yesterday. I was shocked. Says no, this is a justified issue to explore and
a legitimate concern.
It's a legitimate concern. And if you watched when Donald Trump laid out his case in Clear Lake over the weekend, he was very careful. One word you never use to describe something Trump is doing is careful. But when he laid out his argument and his concern, it was constructed in a way that I think really goes to the concerns that, hey, look, let's be honest, Republicans had these concerns about Obama, and apply the same level of scrutiny to Cruz, and I think Cruz has to answer these charges. Let's not forget, Donald Trump as a individual forced the president to show his birth certificate. Now he's doing it to Cruz, and Trump's the front runner in this race.
But let's be clear, Obama was born in Hawaii and Cruz was born in Canada.
Yeah,
there are no similarities between Obama and Cruz.
No, but in terms of the similarity, I think
are the attacks. And the similarity is the attacker.
Absolutely. And so this is an interesting thing where, you look at John McCain, he's born on a military base. Completely
different than the Cruz situation.
Totally different story. And, hey, my inbox is filling up with all these, someone emailed me 800 single-spaced words on this thing last night about Cruz's nationality. Look, anytime you're explaining yourself on the trail, whether it's about the RFS or your nationality, it's not good. Ted Cruz was here for 6 days, did 28 stops, but he was constantly answering these questions. He wasn't on offense in terms of his message.
Because taking away from his message.
The interesting nugget on this whole thing is that his mother showed up on a Canadian voter roll.
Yeah.
And that was in 1974. And I think he was born, in the late 60s?
Yeah, before that.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if it gets disclosed when she started voting in Canada.
So what could we experience, because we need to be wrapping up here in the next couple of days, next couple of weeks on either side of the fence?
Look, intense campaigning in Iowa, where you're going to have a lot of candidates in at the same time.
Any more dropping out between now and
No, I don't think so.
Everybody's in now?
Although
You're locked in.
Rand Paul is boycotting.
Rand Paul is boycotting
JV debate.
That's going to help him a lot.
You might as well drop out at that point. If you don't go to the JV debate.
And on the Democratic side, anything big now?
Well, I think there's going to be lots of
besides
opportunities.
Chelsea coming into town.
New album from
Yeah,
O'Malley.
we've got, I think President Clinton and Chelsea are going to be at Lincoln High School, I think, on Saturday. I would just say, look, if you haven't decided between Sanders or O'Malley or Clinton, you've got 3 weeks to go see him and ask him those questions that we talked about, and do it and figure out who you want to be President of the United States. This is our chance.
Okay.
And speaking of 3 weeks, you guys have 3 weeks to bring some people in here.
All right.
Okay? Putting it both on your plate.
I'm bringing them all in at once.
That's
Do
fine.
it.
That'd be cool.
I don't think the table's big enough.
All right, well done, gentlemen. It is.
We are going to have a great day hostile for caucus right here.
Okay,
So
all right.
party, bring them on down.